you know, you car guys don't know what you're missing if you don't have signs, because you know what? There's no maintenance in these.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's been a little bit since the Winterfest show upload. Kind of a lot's been going on personally in life and whatnot. So I got a little special treat for you guys. The last day of that car show we were there, we got invited to a private tour to the Spomer Classics and Museum. And a guy that's got a big sign collection from all different sorts of places and all original, one of one. He does have some copies of some and whatnot, and it is just truly amazing at this man's collection. Unfortunately, we were the last tourists to ever go through that place and see all the signs together and lit up at one time. Absolutely mind-blowing, and grateful to have learned the knowledge of this man and to see all of his collections of all of his signs and everything. I figured you guys, I got the opportunity to record it, so I figured I would share it with you guys. It's just absolutely mind-blowing. This was not a planned thing, so the video is just as plain as can be. There is a little bit of humming in the background. There's a lot of signs in here, so you're hearing all the transformers from the signs. I'm not an audio guy, so I don't know how to kind of tone that down for everyone. So again, I figured you guys would enjoy this. There's history, there's cool signs, there's a bunch of badass cars. So hopefully you guys enjoy this as much as what we did. And to Marv, if you are watching, thank you so much for having us in for the tour and to be able to share all that sign collection with us. It's very sad to see that all of that sign collection has gone. There was an auction after the tour that we had went through. Not sure of kind of what else had happened with it or how much is actually gone now, but truly amazing. Definitely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So I really hope you guys enjoy. We'll get into the video here, so take care.
Okay, well, we also had 15 cars that we were the either first or second owner on. Some of them are still here. Did you want to run out to the other place, Tyler, yet today?
It's up to you.
Oh yeah, I mean, so you can see the rest, some of the other cars. We've got them stashed around, but and we have 3 cars. There is only one out, so we're going to start with this one right here. 1966 Pontiac Catalina convertible was sold brand new here in Worthington. We have an annual celebration going on here. Been going on since 1937, called Turkey Day. We used to raise and process a lot of turkeys here in Worthington. Here's a picture of the 1966 parade route and who rode in this car in 1966. For those of you that can't see it, that's Robert Kennedy and Walter Mondale.
Wow.
This is the only car we know of that Robert Kennedy signed before he got assassinated. Yeah, he signed it right here in Worthington. Signatures on the back of this headrest right here. On the other headrest is Vice President Hubert Humphrey, Mario Humphrey, Skip Humphrey, the years they rode in this car in Worthington. We also have Jesse Jackson on this side. If you haven't figured it out by now, LaVon was a very staunch Democrat. In fact, we have spots where names were erased and we think she probably found out they were Republican.
Oh, wow.
We have the posters that went on the side, letters from Kennedy. We have lots of documentation on this car right here. You guys looking in my showcase here, did you see my my cordless belt grinder there?
Did look at that. Was it look
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Little crane.
Cordless belt grinder.
Yep.
Jeez.
That way they would run it.
Yeah, sad story here. LaVon went over to Sioux Falls here about, let me see, I think it was coming up on 10 years ago in April. to get a heart valve replaced and never come home, and her husband John come to me shortly thereafter and said, I know LeBon likes to see the car stay in town, but here's what it's going to cost you. I did a big gulp, and I said, I'll take it. So here it is. Right above it is one of the first Pontiac dealership neon signs. That's 1928. Is that gorgeous or what?
That's pretty cool.
There are 3 red production signs in here that I did. One of them is the Chevrolet, genuine Chevrolet parts above the door. There's a Pontiac sign below the Oldsmobile over there on the wall. I did that, as well as the double-sided Pontiac sign up here. The rest you're looking at is for real. The sign I copied for that is already down in South Carolina. In fact, it's a Buick with the Pontiac below it. It's the only one we know of ever made like it. Opal sign just came out of the original crate. This Ford sign, you know, guys, I think I probably hit Tyler with this and John yesterday. The fact that, you know, you car guys don't know what you're missing if you don't have signs, because you know what? There's no maintenance in these. No oil leaks, no batteries, no fuel condition things to be concerned about, nothing. But the first transformer I replaced of all these signs I had up here just happened within the last month, and it was that Ford sign right there. That's 1927. Still had the original transformer in it. Not too bad, huh? Yep.
They don't make them like they used to.
Nope. And I do use old transformers. I'm always looking for transformers. I raid old signs to get my transformers out, because the new ones you'll be able to see. In fact, I can see it from here. We'll point it out when we get down there. They are not too dependable. 62 Corvette I just bought sight unseen out the East Coast, drove it back for our Campbell Soup manager. It is just like I got it 20-some years ago. He took it to his Florida residence. I told him if you ever wanted to get rid of it, I wanted it back. I got her back. It's a 300 horsepower glide. They only built a few of those with an automatic. It's a wonderful driver. White Rose sign right up here with the green neon. Just came out of the original shipping crate, dated 1937. White Rose was a refinery company, started in 1884. And this particular sign came out of Kansas. I'm sure, as poorly as it was crated, neon was probably broke before it left the sign company. Thank goodness the dealer left it in the crate, and I wound up getting it like that. So there it is. Now, White Rose had a little mascot, and there he is, the little narco boy. This sign is 1914. It's a tin painted sign, and it is original.
Good paint back then.
Oh, they did. Studebaker sign is the one that came out of Chamberlain, South Dakota, along with the factory. Let me see. I don't know how many you can see this, but if you look up here, you see used cars, trucks, renewed guarantee, all makes and models, money back guarantee. You know whose sign that was? Come on, car people. Look at that big blue oval there.
Henry Ford.
That's Ford.
Yes, sir.
That's Ford's first warranty program, 1936.
That's amazing.
There's the bandit sign in February.
Oh, yeah.
62 Impala came out of Albuquerque. The gentleman that had it passed away. He was a NASA scientist. His wife says, I don't know anything about the cars, but he did keep logbooks. The logbook is laying in the front seat if you want to look at it, but it tells you when he washed it, vacuumed it, what the tire pressures were in a given day. He was very, I think, a little bit eccentric. It's 4-door hardtop with factory air, 327, 250 horse. All I did in this car is washed it when I got it. The old boy did not like automatic chokes, so he put manual chokes on both the cars. I didn't tell you what the other car was. It's a 58 Impala, naturally two-door hardtop. You'll see that later if we go out to the other building. He didn't like finger hut seat covers, so both cars have got finger hut seat covers. Did you know Finger Hut is still in business today? They're still making stuff today. In fact, I had a gentleman in here this summer, and he had just retired from Finger Hut. He says, oh yeah, we're still going. This has even got the original windshield washer fluid concentrate bottle in it with even some of the original in it yet. But you mix it, put in your windshield washer. Case Eagle, one of my favorite signs right there. The sign below it, the tin embossed sign, came out of Kingsley, Iowa, where it talks about automobiles. That's over 100 years old, that sign. It just was found here in the last 6-8 years in an old building in Kingsley. Amazing condition. This bay is dedicated to farm implement. I'm glad I did it because we have a lot of people through here that don't realize in the early days you bought your new cars and tractors the same place. And I'm glad I did that. You know, speaking of case building automobiles, you know John Deere built cars too. Waterloo, Iowa, they built 75,000 John Deere cars, but they called them the V-Lee. V-E-L-I-E. Yeah, inertia. This was South Dakota back in the day when they had safety inspection. You had to get your car safety inspected. Long before you young people here. Anyway, you'd put this in the driver's window, you'd take the car out and drive it, dynamite the brakes, and see if it passed. I'll tell you, I could make it pass or flunk, whatever I wanted it to do. Here's your water drinking bag. I know none of you have ever drank out of one of these. My dad used to fill one of these up with water when we went out to the Black Hills. And you'd hang it out in front of the car, drive down the road. As you drove down the road, it cooled the water inside, and when you stopped to take a drink, it was cold.
Man.
Confirmed.
Oh yeah. Oh.
This is a Pep Boys bag. Pep Boys have been around since 1922. Actually, the John Deere one came out of Belgium, Minnesota. I took that off the building. The Evers Motors over there with another sand painted sign on the wall. The Ford tractor sign came off of the building there. I took that off the building.
That Evers motor one, was that another one that sand painted?
Yeah.
Yep. Kind of tell that.
But the sparkle's gone on that one. But yet the sign is in great condition. Yeah.
You know,
That's another example. That sign right there. My wife, if you talk to her long enough and asked her how I got all this stuff, she would probably tell you I've been through every little town, not only Main Street, but every alley looking for signs. And that's how we found that one. We found it still up in Wagner. This sign right here, this is a Lincoln Mercury quality used car sign that came out of Kansas City. When I got it, it was painted pink, white, aqua, and yellow. It took me a month to clean the paint off and get it back to the original portion. There it is. This is one that didn't make the first try. B.F. Goodrich sign was found in a grove of trees by Decorah, Iowa. And when I started cleaning it up, I could see it had never been up before. And then when I got inside, I could see that it was balanced inside, so I knew it was originally a rotator.
Oh wow.
So I stole the old rotator off my Phillips 66 sign out in the middle of the parking lot and decided to put it under this one. This is one of my newer signs. It's dated 1953. It's got a stainless steel can on it, so it's a newer one.
but never was up.
It was never out. Never. Bolt holes have no sign of anything being tightened up. By the way, if you look up on the ceiling, you'll see I installed 20 10-inch I-beams between the bays to hold the signs up. Smartest thing I did was pre-drill them on the ground before I put them up at 4-foot centers. You can see about every 4 feet there's a couple of holes in there and painted them. And we put those up. This building was so plumb, I pre-drilled some holes, and we put all those beams up with a bobcat and a boom in less than 3 hours. Every hole, every bolt fit. These are signs that we took down and getting ready to go. Canoe came out of my brother's. My brother had that in Seattle for 30-some years. He got it as collateral. And Will's brother started building canoes in 1908 in the Seattle area. Yeah, that's one of their canoes. It's got 700 brass rivets in it.
Jesus.
This is my Wayne 50 showcase pump. I never dreamt I'd see one of those, let alone have one. And this was found in a grove of trees 10 miles from town. Really? Yeah. And it took me 2 years to restore it.
What's that?
It took me 2 years to restore it.
When you're restoring something like that, there's certain paint that you're using to try to get it more authentic, or do you make it just so it's going to be durable and looks good? And
Yeah. I'm not fussy. That is the original globe on it. This is a 1930, by the way. That's the original globe. It was still good.
Jesus.
I mean, I can't explain how I got some of this stuff. It just happened.
how it survived until you found it.
Now this had to be completely redone. Now, you aren't going to believe this. 6 months later, we had a bus tour in here. Pretty soon, my wife's taking some information down from a guy. After the tour, she says, this guy's got a couple of pumps. So I called the guy up, found out he was right down here in Dune, Iowa. So set up a time to meet him. He says, I got 2 farm places, I got a pump on each side, right across the road from each other. So I pulled it, he said, we'll meet on the east one. I pulled in there and I looked around, I didn't see a pump sitting any place. And he pulled in behind me and I says, where's the pump? He says, oh, follow me. We go around behind this building, and I couldn't believe my eyes. It was a twin to this one. Wow. Absolutely a twin. It was still hooked up to an underground tank. We'd go over the other side the road on this other farm place, and it was a pretty common pump. But there again, it was still hooked up to the tank. So he said, I'll get them unhooked and give you a call, and you can come get them. So we did. I got them bought anyway. And, you know, we have a lot of variety of people in here, and they said, well, it didn't really pump gas, did it? Well, I said, yes, it did. And I says, you know what? When they come out with the electric pumps, people wanted to see that there was gas going in them. The reason they had these is people didn't trust them with the original pumps, like down there with the white ball on it, because they couldn't see what they were getting. So they come out with the visibles, and then here they put sight glasses on them. So to prove that they would pump gas, we will see if we can get that sight glass spinning if I open the nozzle up. Fire her up here. I'll pull the nozzle open. Yeah, it's spinning. I didn't get any on you, did I? Close the nozzle, it quits. This is all the original switching mechanism too. Wow. I didn't restore these for you. This is a Wayne 800. We think there's only about 15 to 20 of these, all cast iron. All I did was wash this one, put new lenses in it, and painted the hands. Little Mercury sign there. Came out of Sigourney, Iowa. It was still up. Mounted on 4 highline poles.
Jesus.
It's 25.5 feet long, 7.5 feet tall.
Well, Ford sign is about the roughest one you got.
One of the first Ford Olds in 1928. This is punch sign.
That's called?
Yep, punch.
Glass balls in it, or
There's no glass. They punch the tabs in. The tabs are reflecting the light. It's crazy.
oh, down here. Oh, it looks like it's like the
Yeah, I know.
like a marble glass ball.
But it isn't. It's crazy.
So yeah, it's okay. I see what it is.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff.
Punch it out and then it's pointing down.
Yeah.
Wow.
Want to let that hit?
Getting any ideas for the shop signs?
The flashing
To do that. Yeah, that would be
OK
sweet.
sign right here has got 9 transformers in it. That Studebaker one's got 14 in it.
Jesus.
When we light it, when we had everything here, it lit everything up about 600 transformers.
Makes the meter sing.
This is a 67 Firebird 326 HO. Stands for high output. They built this combination for less than 30 days. This car came out of California in pieces. It took 4 years to restore it. We did it all in this facility right here.
Wow.
It's got the hood tachometer. Won gold awards at the Pontiac Nationals. It's been written up in magazines. Dana Meekum really wants one of this one for one of his auctions. He sold 2 of them last year. And they brought pretty good money, so he'd like to have another one.
Yeah.
And the 66 Pontiac GTO. Car number 2 there is only one of. This car was sold Stan Olson Pontiac, Omaha, Nebraska. And doctor bought it for his daughter Catherine when she was in high school. It's a 66 GTO convertible, 4-speed with factory air and a paint code of 0.
Wow.
It's actually painted 1966 Cadillac Fire Mist color. It's the only one we know of. The GTO judges have been here 5 times. They said we've never seen another one.
Wow.
'57 Corvette. My Corvettes, by the way, all of them have both tops. And this one here is not quite done. I just have been neglecting it. 57 fuel car, first year for 283, first year for fuel injection, first year for 4-speed, first year for positive traction, and that's also got the air-cooled brakes on it. Transmission, first 4-speed to roll off the GM assembly line, just the transmission shop, the transmission assembly line, was April 12th, and mine was dated April 14th.
Wow.
Car was built April 28th. This is another sign that came out of Raton, New Mexico. It's the only one we've ever seen like that. It's got used trucks on one side and used cars on the other, on that rail. Here we have a 55 Chevy double nickel. 150, sold new at Rapp Chevrolet in Marion in 1955. The lady that bought it was receptionist for our local doctor, Martha, and she was very conservative. This car's got 2 options on it. I'll tell you what the one is, and you've got to spot the other. Automatic transmission. It's a power glide. Time's up. 2-tone paint.
Okay.
Oh, the top.
Yep.
You want to open up the door and give me a report from the interior? How's the carpeting?
There ain't nothing in here.
Rubber man,
A
huh?
mat and a seat. There are more options on a tractor, I think.
How's the radio work?
No radio, no nothing, man.
How many sun visors you got?
We got 1 sun visor. That I've never seen before. Got a dome
Not
light.
too good neither, are they?
Got a dome light.
If you opened up the trunk, you'd find 2 mounted studded snow tires though.
Wow.
My brother reminded me, he says, you probably studded those, and he's probably right. After school, I'd go over to Dad's station. I don't know how many stud guns I wore out. Studded tires.
Original paint.
Everything's original. I'll tell you what, I serviced this at my dad's station before I started Raps, and I serviced it for Martha there. And when we left Marion in '72, I kept in contact with Martha, and I bought it from her right before she passed away. And when I bought it, I brought it home, and I showed this car at car shows for 15 years. I'd loaded it up in the enclosed trailer, and I showed it. I never washed it, never dusted it, never nothing, just all original. I says, guys, this is a barn find. And after 15 years, one day I decided, hey, I should make a resto mod out of this. I run it in the back room, put her up in the hoist, looked it over. It's only gonna be like this once and it's staying like this. So here it is. I washed it for the first time and put it in there. Yep. You know, it's got dings on it and stuff. Eyebrows haven't been replaced, but it is as original as you can get. And you know what? A lot of times when I got large groups in here, before they leave, this winds up being one of the favorite cars for them. Makes me really hurt when I look at my Corvette there. Oh, by the way, if you think that Corvette is painted orange, it isn't. That's Venetian red.
Really?
Yep. And if you looked at some of the cars at the show yesterday, 55s to 57s, that's the red. It looks orange.
I will never call him orange again.
Here's car number 3. There is only one of the rarest General Motors cars ever built. They only built 13 like this. This is fast production car in '89. It served as the Indianapolis pace car in the 20th anniversary. And out of the 13, it's the only one left that's never been titled or licensed. It's still an MSO car.
Wow.
Now, I could put a dealer plate on it and drive it wherever I wanted. And I drove this to the national events. And it's fast production car. I'm just not the type of guy that would leave it set without checking it out once in a while. If you went for a ride in this car, I'd nail it. Watch the turbo boost needle. When it hit 25 pounds, the back tires start chirping. And the next 98 miles an hour came by very quickly. The reason that only 98 miles an hour, the car is capable of going 150, 60 miles an hour. But the tires are speed rated at 140, shuts off at 138. Wow. This is the Grand National motor, by the way.
Is that what it is?
Yep, Buick Grand National motor plus 20 horsepower. Even the spark plug wires are marked 20th anniversary. When I was at the Nationals getting a judge, one of the judges pulled me to the side. He says, "Do you know those valve stem caps are 20th anniversary valve stem caps? They were gray 20th anniversary valves, and I never looked at them before." He said, "I'll give you some advice. You better get them off there because you'll never find any if you lose one or somebody steals them."
Yeah.
So there's black ones on there now. I just wish I remember where I put the green one.
In the glove box down in the corner.
They're not in the car.
So literally, you just can't remember where they're at. Doesn't say your desk out.
But now, the rest of the story. I didn't get this car until the spring of 1990. Notice it's an 89. 89, Indianapolis.
I was just born.
1990. Why didn't I get it until the spring of 1990? I bought it at the GM auction in Minneapolis, St. Paul. 86 miles on it. Bought it, brought it home, and I bought 2 of these cars. The reason they only built 13, it doesn't have the hatch roof on it. All the other pace cars were made with hatch roofs. So you know this was not the car that paced the Indianapolis 500. Well, the first 2 I bought, I sold right away because I'm a squeak and rattle freak, and you know what the T-tops are. They're squeak and rattle, and then they throw the leak in besides. So I sold those right away. They were both driven by factory execs. One with 5,000 miles, one with 7,000 miles. This thing came through with 86 miles on it, and I had to buy it. Well, when I got it home, I called central office the next day. I says, "I want some history on this car." And they called me back about 3 days later and said, "How much you want for the car?" I said, "It's not for sale." "Now tell me the story." "Well, they only built 13 like it." I said, "Okay." And we were talking. I says, "Now what's the rest of the story? Where's this car been?" "Well, it's one of the cars GM forgot about at the infield garages at Indianapolis. When they opened them up this spring, this was one of the cars." Here it is. Got a little history. Just take the whole magazine.
Oh, that's okay.
That's what they're for.
I say I'm
A binder showing when we went and who we went with, stuff like that. Pictures.
Right.
Yeah, the neon sign, Carver repair is pretty good at. That's like Carver. Sometimes a top piece, Carver logo. That's a Carver here logo.